things. And in fact, many people just know the first line of that. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. But Dr. King, the power of that message is that he went on to really give his full thinking, to talk about how this is not about something that's only for the privileged among us. The quote continues that you don't need a college degree to serve. You don't have to have your subject and your verb agree to serve. He was acknowledging that service is something that can be possible for everybody. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. But one of the things that is often missed when we contemplate that quotation is the understanding that this is not something that everybody has. Everybody is not great because everybody doesn't serve. You don't achieve greatness unless you bring the service with it. But it's not something that is unattainable. It's within your grasp. It's within the grasp of not only everybody in this room, but everybody in the community, everybody in the world. But we fail to grasp that for whatever reason, and I'm not even going to take time to speculate. But the quotation goes on to conclude, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't need a college degree. You don't need to have your subject and verb agree. All you need is a heart full of grace and a soul that's generated by love. Now, he says it very simply, but in our day and age, it's very difficult to find these combinations in the broader community, where people are bringing a heart full of grace, and by extension, love for their fellow human, a soul that's propelled by this whole idea that we should be a part of a beloved community, where we absolutely demand justice and equal opportunity, and the chance for everybody who contributes to be able to share in the wealth and the opportunity that's created. That's what I think Dr. King was talking about. And that if we commit ourselves to working toward that end, we can achieve greatness, any one of us. We can find a way to serve those ideals of a beloved community, and by extension achieve the greatness that should be important to all of us. And that word should is intentionally used. We are all human beings that at some point in our lives, and hopefully still, we desire to be great. Whether it's at our profession, at our hobby, in our personal relationships, we desire to be great. I'm not talking about the greatness that comes from recognition, the greatness that comes from knowing that you have excelled at doing something. How many people in the room love it when they've done a great job? Raise your hands. If you feel a sense of self-satisfaction when you've done a great job, tell me if that sense of self-satisfaction is just about one of the best things that you can experience in this life. When you know you have done the very best that you can and you've done a great job. That is a feeling that I know for me, I try to attain as much as possible. And guess what? Dr. King told us the secret more than 50 years ago. We can all feel that through service. We're not necessarily going to get it in our jobs all the time. Trust me, people in your family are going to tell you you often don't achieve it at home all the time, but we can achieve it through service. And that whole idea that we should aspire to be great, hopefully, that's a source of inspiration for the very many ways in which you can embrace the concept of community service as a part of your life. Now, I am not here to lecture you about what you should do. There's all kinds of organizations that you could join, projects that you could be a part of. That's not what this is about. You all can figure on your own time how you're going to devote your time, your talent, your treasure, or even just showing up to doing something that's important. I'll leave that to you and leave it in your capable hands. But hopefully this is a call and an inspiration for you to tap into your greatness through service and to recognize that at the core, it may not mean joining something or signing up. Because I know there can be barriers to that, right? You gotta figure out the time and the place. You gotta feel out the organization to make sure it's a good fit. You gotta make sure the schedule works with your own schedule. I realize there can be a lot of barriers to that. But I'm here to tell you that's not gonna get you off the hook. Bringing it back to a quotation, Jackie Robinson, integrated Major League Baseball, and on his headstone is a favorite quotation of his: "Life is unimportant except for the impact that it has on other lives." Now that quotation has an interesting backstory. We look back in hindsight and like, wow, Jackie Robinson had a huge impact on lots of lives. I mean, Jackie Robinson is an historical figure. He integrated Major League Baseball. He inspired generations of other African Americans, not only in the sport of baseball, but in other sports. Jackie Robinson was a hugely important person. His quotation wasn't acknowledging his own importance and greatness. In fact, he said that when people wanted to talk about the incredible example of his integrating Major League Baseball at the very start. And his thought process was, don't give me attention, because I haven't done anything yet. Judge me by whatever impact I have on everybody else. Well, anyway, that's the backstory of why he said it. It inspired me as a young person. It sort of became one of the things that I attached as one of my reasons for living. And when I was an adult, I got the opportunity to meet Rachel Robinson, who's known as Jackie Robinson's widow, but herself is someone who ought to be known and studied for her own contributions. A nurse during a time where it was very difficult for African Americans to enter the nursing profession. Later on, went on to become a professor at the Yale Medical School. Truly a special human being. But after her work career, she's devoted herself to Brooklyn, New York, her sort of adopted hometown, and making sure that there was a Jackie Robinson legacy that was available to help the youth in Brooklyn in all manner of their social, intellectual development, doing tremendous things, incredibly important things. And as I'm having a conversation with her, telling her about how that quotation moved me, she said, well, it's funny because the way Jackie thought about that has inspired me for the rest of my life. And I'm thinking here, Jackie Robinson died too young to really recognize and understand how important he was in the grand sweeping arc of 20th century history. But hopefully, he knew the impact that he had on Rachel Robinson, who was able to go and do for countless other thousands of young people, having an incredibly positive impact. So here we see that Jackie Robinson, for all that we remember of him, perhaps his greatest legacy was the impact he had right in his own home, and how it propelled Rachel, someone who was great in her own right, to do incredibly great things, inspired by that sense that Jackie instilled, that we can all aspire to be important through impacting others. So, as I want to close, because there were three things that Grand Director Spain encouraged me to do. One, he said, please keep your remarks. He encouraged me to have the remarks focused on community service and community appreciation. He also encouraged me to bring whatever flavor that I wanted to bring to the conversation, but he also very much encouraged me to be brief. So I will be sure to try and honor all of those by simply closing and saying, we have such a rich history of examples, from the honorees employees who we're going to hear a little bit more from tonight, from others in the room who we all know the contributions that they make each and every day to improving our community. Sometimes it can be daunting to figure out, well, what's my place? But recognize none of that other stuff matters, because at the end of the day, we all have it in us to do incredibly great, important things. And finding that specific thing that works for you will truly be what brings you that sense of self-satisfaction, and also, most importantly, helps get us closer to that beloved community where justice, where opportunity, where people contributing and getting their fair share is not only possible, but that's what we deliver each and every day. So I thank you all very much for the opportunity to share a couple of words, and I look forward to being inspired by the examples that we're going to hear from tonight. Thank you.
All right.
It's always good that when we can share in our celebrations those leaders in our several localities that would take the time out of their busy schedules to come be with us. We want to thank Mr. Dorsey again for his wonderful words this evening. At this time, Worshipful Master Antonio Adams is going to come forward, and he will give you the reason why we're here tonight, and he's going to make some presentations.
All right. Just 1 minute.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So, Mr. Christian Dorsey just did an excellent job pretty much summing up a good bit of what I want to talk about this evening. Talking about community and talking about giving. So I stand here before you to tell you how honored and blessed I am to be a part of this Arlington community, because I see all the love that's displayed, not just on occasions like this, but on a daily basis. So the purpose of this occasion was, coming into this year, one of the visions that was laid out in Arlington Lodge Number 58 was being able to bring the community together and also be able to expose masonry at a different level to those of you who don't really know what masonry is. So what masonry is about, there's 3 principal tenets, which is brotherly love, relief, and truth. You'll see that some of the honorees here, if you look through your book, you realize that we have teachers, principals, we have a pastor in the church, and we also have community. So when you take those 3 principal tenets, which is brotherly love, relief, and truth, you'll be able to determine why the people that are honored here tonight are in line with our precepts and ideology. Okay, so you have brotherly love, which when you look at the church, when you look at pastorship, that's what they're about, that's what they extend. When you look at truth, you see education. If you're not educated, you won't know the truth. When you look at relief, you see the Inaugural Civic Association. Okay, so we have 4 different community organizations that's going to be honored here tonight that exemplify what our principal tenets are in Freemasonry. You see the banner here, displays faith, hope, and charity, power and purpose. I don't know if you all can see that from this side, I apologize. Family, love, and community. That's who we are. So to me, this event is long overdue. So we are here to celebrate you for all the extraordinary people and extraordinary services that you have committed. So at this time, what I'm going to do is honor the first person on this, which is Miss Kimberly Graves, who is the principal of Hoffman Boston Elementary School. If you could come on up, please. So we have a plaque here. But before I go into this, I want to tell you that I had the opportunity of meeting Miss Graves this past year when Arlington Lodge went into a partnership with Hoffman Boston Elementary School. And I would tell you this, from the first minute I met her spirit was so amazing. And I met her at the school actually. And not only was her spirit amazing amongst the brothers, but you could see it in the children. You could see it in the students. You could see how excited they were to learn. You could see how much they loved Miss Graves. And she was just so passionate. And it was just what the school system needs. And so we were definitely excited to be able to partnership with them. And we went and got a plaque to honor her in the school. And it reads, presented to Miss Kimberly Graves in Hoffman Boston Elementary School, Arlington Public Schools, 2017-2018, Principal of the Year. On behalf of Arlington Lodge number 58, we thank you and your staff for your tireless efforts and contributions in educating and developing our students. June 9, 2018.
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to say first thank you. I'm very humbled and very honored to stand before you and receive this award on behalf of the Hoffman Boston community. It is such an honor and a privilege to have the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of children every single day. It's something that I look forward to, and to receive recognition for that, to me, is almost not as valuable as the difference that we make with the students that I see each and every day. Arlington Lodge 58, we began our partnership very recently, and many of the students in our school community greatly benefited from the generous donation from your lodge. We have countless students who aren't able to afford opportunities for summer school or enrichment programs, and it's through your generous donation that many of those students were able to do that. Families want the very best for their children, no matter what. And it pains parents when you're not able to provide things for your children that they so rightfully deserve. And you all took a very generous part in making a difference in the lives of a number of students. So I'm grateful to you for that, and I'm also equally grateful for the opportunity to receive this recognition this evening. Thank you.
Thank you again, Ms. Graves. So the next honoree on the list, we're going to honor Mount Zion Baptist Church, where the Reverend Dr. Leonard Smith is the pastor. So do we have the representative in house for Mount Zion? There you go. All right. So for many of you know, Arlington Lodge, we also have another club called the Beehive Club. And the Beehive Club is our fundraising arm for the Lodge. You see us out in town doing fish fries, doing events over at Fort Myers for the Capitol Classic, and just raising funds so we can provide scholarships to graduating seniors. Mount Zion has always been gracious to us, for they've always opened their church and allowed us to come in and do what we do annually, which is called the Gospel Song Fest. They're one of the few churches who actually come to the event, sing, and don't ask for any type of donation or contribution. They just do it out of the goodness of their heart. They believe in what we're doing, and they've been sponsoring it for many years as far as opening their facility. So we are very grateful to Mount Zion for that. So I would like to present this to you on behalf of Arlington Lodge. It reads, Presented to Mount Zion Baptist Church on behalf of Arlington Lodge number 58, we honor and thank you for our outstanding achievements and dedicated efforts to our community. You have contributed to the success of our organization in countless ways, and for that, we are grateful.
On behalf of Dr. London and Smith, who's the senior minister at Mount Zion Baptist Church, and the entire Mount Zion Baptist Church, we're grateful for this opportunity to receive this award. And we're looking forward to more endeavors with you, for we are very impressed with this organization, and we know that your organization is doing great things, and we just want to applaud you. Can we applaud them? And again, we say thank you.
Thanks again. I'm standing here and I'm just getting goosebumps just to know of all the good work that this community has done, and people coming together and just stepping out there and filling the gap, filling the void. You know, so, I mean, I've been to many churches, and one of the sermons that stick with me the most is live out your assignment. Live out your assignment. I mean, it sounds like a pretty simple task. But when we're on this journey, living out that assignment can be challenging. But we strive to do it every day. So I'm just grateful to be here. So with that being said, the next honoree I would like to honor is the Inaugural Civic Association with Miss Portia Clark. Please come to this stage, please. All right. So if you live here in Arlington, you know about Inaugural Civic Association and Miss Portia Clark. They are a huge pillar in this Arlington community. We are very grateful for them. We live right, well, we meet, right? Live, because we're always there. But we meet right there in the community, and some of our members actually live there. We are grateful for them because I call them, in my own personal words, they're like the big brother, big sister of our community. They are the liaison between the residents in the North community and, I would say, legislation, if you will. They represent the people. They are the first ones on the scene. They know exactly what's going on, and they're very gracious about letting the community know what's happening as far as everything from 4 Mile Run and the different developments that's happening. So we're very grateful for them for that. So with that being said, I have a plaque presented to Inaugural Civic Association on behalf of Arlington Lodge number 58. We honor you with our deepest appreciation for your tireless efforts and representation within the Inaugural community. June 9, 2018.
They didn't tell me I had to write a speech for this, but when I look out in the room, I see lots of family and lots of organizations and people that I've worked with over the years that has made the Civic Association what it is today. Kim Graves, we're looking forward to her coming to Drew on July 1 and leading our new school. Dr. Taylor, all the other leaders and officers of the Civic Association here, my church, Macedonia, the members and all those that I've worked with. It has been an honor for me. I was sitting next to Mr. Younger and he says, how many years have you led the Civic Association? So I had to stop and think about that because Dr. Taylor and I sort of played tag team. So it's been a total of about 6 years. But over those 6 years, I've been affiliated with the Civic Association for many years, going back to the lodge when they used to do our fish fries at Knox Civic and Community Pride Day with Archie Green. But we built associations over the years with a number of organizations and people people, and I look forward to doing that because we couldn't serve NARC without all of you helping us to make NARC what it is today. So thank you all, and I thank you for this award to the Civic Association on behalf of my officers and the citizens of our community.
All right, our next honoree is the Pastor James Gibson. So, Pastor James Gibson, very good friend of Arlington Lodge, number 58, and the Beehive Club. Pastor James Gibson is the pastor of Chesterbrook Baptist Church, McLean, Virginia. I had the opportunity of meeting Pastor Gibson maybe about 4 years ago. This is another man who is willing to step up to the call of duty whenever you need him. Anytime that Arlington Lodge number 58 needed a spokesperson or a preacher or anything, he's always been there at our call, and he said, "I'll do it," with a smile on his face. He's been good to us, and one thing I would always remember him for is "Oh Happy Day." And I don't want to put him on the spot today.
Oh yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
But because of "Oh Happy Day," there's been many happy days in Arlington Lodge number 58. So we thank you for being here, and we want to present you with a plaque and a wreath presented to Pastor James Gibson, Chesterbrook Baptist Church, McLean, Virginia. On behalf of Arlington Lodge number 58, we honor you this day to show our appreciation for all of your hard work and dedication. Thank you for your tireless efforts and outstanding contributions to not only Arlington Lodge number 58, but to the entire community. Thank you.
Let the church say amen. Now that was a perfect little segue, because I'm not going to sing it tonight, but if you come to First Baptist Chesterbrook tomorrow, 1740 Kirby Road, we will sing "Oh Happy Day." This is indeed a happy day for me, and it's an honor and a pleasure to be here, primarily because of the spiritual foundation that you have. I don't know if you're kind of churchy, you know that faith, hope, and charity, that's 1 Corinthians 13. I'm not going to give you the sermon tonight, but that means something to me. As a young boy, my grandmother would always say, folks don't have to be nice, and when they do, they don't have to be nice to you. And so when they are, I greatly appreciate it. But I must confess that part of the reason of what I do and why I do it is based on some biblical principles. It says in Matthew that you got to do two things: love the Lord with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. Now, here's why it's so easy. You brothers have been easy to love on. These brothers have been friends in the community. It's one thing when you can be all happy and holy in church, But when you can do it outside of the church and do it with passion and enthusiasm, it's not really work, it's a labor of love. And so it's good to be able to share with you at that capacity. It's good that we can be friends inside the church and outside of the church. It's good that you don't get too mad when I run Boston's at the Big Woods table. And I don't get mad when I get cavalier insults. So let me say, it is important that we have a sense of community. With all of the divisiveness that we have in our country, the real strength will be those things that we do together, and we do it together with love. And so I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my family for coming. My wife and my children and my grandchildren are here. That's important because family is important. And so to all of the honorees, I looked at the program and there's some heavy hitters up in here tonight. And so I always pride myself on brevity. So I must be shorter than Christian was. And so I'm going to sit down now, but I'll leave you with this. I love you and God loves you best.
All right, this last person I would like to bring up is who was our keynote speaker this evening, Mr. Christian Dorsey. If you can make your way up here, please. First off, I would just like to say thank you for taking the time out of your schedule. So I know you're a very busy man, and I want to thank you for taking the time out of your schedule for showing up this evening. Thank you, sir. I know it's kind of a last-minute deal, but you showed up, and I appreciate that. Yeah, it was an awesome deliverance. Thank you. And well received. So with that being said, we have a plaque here presented to you, and it has the actual Arlington Lodge history picture on it. Okay, and it reads, presented to Mr. Christian Dorsey, keynote speaker for Arlington Lodge number 58, Inaugural Community Appreciation Gala, day before today.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. All right.
Moving to the second half of the honorees. These honorees are near and dear to my heart, for I serve with them on a daily basis. Being a Freemason is very time consuming. More time than you probably know. But thank God for those who are very dedicated and true to the craft and to what they believe in. And thank God for those who understand the importance and the needs that we have in our community. So as I call these brothers up, and the honorees on this side of the evening is the brothers from 58, Arlington Lodge number 58. I want to start out with a brother who has served over 50 years into this organization. And that brother is Brother Harold Hall. If you could come to the stage, please. And I also would like to have Brother Past Master Robert Reed, if you could come to the stage, please. So, taking my time with this because I already told you how much time goes into masonry. There's been many brothers that came into our organization, and I'm just be transparent with you, that joined one day, and before midnight, they don't quit. And it makes you wonder, why did you come here in the first place? But for me, to know how passionate I am about this craft, and to be able to have two brothers standing before me whose shoulders I'm standing on, it does me great honor and joy. The time that you committed to this organization, come a little closer to me, I want to feel a little love. The time that you all given to this organization, it's amazing to me because it is very challenging. And I'm speaking to you guys right now, I'm speaking from my heart, all right? It's a very challenging organization. But when those times get tough, I start thinking about brothers like you two, who's never quit, who's never given up, who still shows up, and who still contributes. The both of you have a strong historical knowledge of Arlington Lodge number 58 that I can't even pretend to know. You've seen a lot of things, a lot of changes. But I just want to personally, as the master of Arlington Lodge number 58, thank you, brothers, for your endurance and for your zeal and for your continued love for the craft and for the community. So with that being said, we have two plaques here. One for Worshipful Past Master Robert Reed and one for Brother Harold Hall. And what the plaque reads is Arlington Lodge number 58 Inaugural Community Appreciation Gala Service Award. Presented to Worshipful Past Master Robert Reed, Brother Harold Hall, in recognition and appreciation for over 50 years of outstanding service and commitment to our organization and community. God bless you guys. You guys deserve it.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I can't say I thank the worship masters and all the brothers of Arlington Lodge for thinking about me these 50-some odd years I put in masonry. I'm glad to be back home. I know some of y'all wonder what I'm saying, glad to be back home. 58 years last April, I was raised here in this area, in the old Oddfellow Hall. The old Oddfellow Hall was close to Columbia Pike because on a two-lane highway here. And I believe where we stand now, we was in the cemetery. I said, I believe. I am not saying for sure because once somebody can correct me, I know Dr. Taylor know where it was, so I don't tell you where it was. But I believe we stayed in the cemetery. And I really thank y'all for being here with us tonight. And I said, the Lord has blessed me to live to see more than 50 years in Arlington Lodge. And I'm so thankful. I'm the oldest past master of Arlington Lodge who served time as a master. There's so many that have served since me have gone on. And so thank the Lord have blessed me to live to see those who've gone on before me. Again, thank you all.
Thank you. Just a few words I'd like to say. Thank you all very much for allowing me to be here for 50-some years. And I am continuing to go with my daughters, twin daughters, and my wife. They hope we get to here. Thank you very much.
So just so I'm clear, when I say over 50 years, this award doesn't just go to anyone who serves over 50 years. That's over 50 years of continuous service with no break. All right, so the next brother I'd like to bring on the stage is a junior warden, Rudy Tyson. Brother Junior Warden, Rudolph Tyson. My friend, my confidant. This brother right here is an amazing brother. This past year, we needed help in the lodge. And this brother, the term junior warden means he's one of the 3 principal officers. And when we was looking to fill the seat, and you have to be elected into that position, this brother appeared. Now, I'm going to get sentimental on you for a little bit, because in every organization, you know you have your triumphs and tribulations. Sometimes you feel like the organization is getting a little weak. What is a man to do when he's going to be the master, the leader of the lodge, especially when you're looking for support? And I prayed on it, and I prayed on it. And Lord, did not know he was going to send me you. We had countless of conversations, and I appreciate you keeping me stable. I appreciate the words of wisdom, because every conversation we had always led back to God. So I want to say to you, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being a part of Arlington Lodge number 58. I appreciate all the support that you have given, the many sacrifices that you have made. And I really appreciate you just being you and just being humble and staying right in the middle. So with that being said, this year, Arlington Lodge number 58 names Junior Warden Rudolph Tyson Master Mason of the Year. All right. And this plaque reads, presented to Junior Warden Rudolph Tyson in grateful appreciation for your dedication, sacrifice, and commitment to our organization and the Arlington community. Arlington Lodge number 58, 2017, 2018.
Good evening, everybody.
Sing a song.
No, I'm not going to sing a song tonight. Thank you. First of all, I would like to say that I am very proud to have earned this recognition. Thank you, Worshipful Master and Arlington Lodge number 58. I am very proud of my lodge. I have been on numerous events and activities where the Worshipful Master and I have gone to represent the Arlington Lodge number 58. And I have seen the many times that we have proven that we have made recognition in the community. And with us, it's all about the community. And more or less, it's about our youth, because they are our future. There's a lot of things that make up a good Master Mason, and they can be counted in measurements, One is dedication. One is commitment. And most of all, sacrifice.
All right.
I can say that this year, along with my worshipful master and the lodge, I have done all of those. But more importantly, I did all of that from my heart. Thank you.
All right, the next honoree will be Worshipful Past Master Earl Valentine. If you could come to the stage, please. Worship Past Master Earl Valentine. When I first came to Arlington Lodge number 58, I seen Worship Past Master Earl Valentine. And there was something about his demeanor and his stature that just caused me to kind of keep my eyes on him. Very quiet, so I thought, and very humble in nature. But one of the things that stood out to me the most about Worshipful Past Master Earl Valentine was his passion, his zeal, his desire for Arlington Lodge number 58. He's like the watchdog of 58. The building over there that we meet in, he serves on the Board of Trustees, and he's actually the chairman. But he ensures that that lodge is taken care of. He does a lot of work going out, getting quotes and estimates and making sure that we're not getting ripped off. But more importantly, he sacrifices his time because he's always at that lodge, ensuring that we have a place to meet. But more importantly, he's at every event, for the most part, that we do. And if he can't make it, he'll let you know he can't make it. He's one of the brothers that I know if he said he can't make it, I have to check on him because something seriously is going on. So I want to tell you on behalf of Arlington Lodge number 58, we love you, we thank you for all your service and everything that you've done for Arlington 58, and for also your wise counsel that you have given to worshipful masters and brothers coming up the ranks. So with that being said, you are named Worshipful Past Master of the Year, and this award is being presented to you for your wise counsel, tireless efforts, selfless giving, and faithful service to our organization and the Arlington community.
First, I'd like to say good evening to everyone. I would like to just say thank you, God, for allowing me to receive this award this evening. I also would like to thank my lodge, Arlington Lodge number 58, for this outstanding achievement award that I got for 2017 to 2018. And I also like to thank my wife and family for allowing me to be out all these many hours away from the house. And I'd like to also thank my friends who came out tonight to support me. And I also like to thank congratulate the rest of the honoree this evening. God bless you. Thank you.
I would also be remiss to talk a little further about Worship Past Master Valentine. He's a very family-oriented man, and Every time he comes to the lodge, he talks about his grandkids and his wife, and he's always on the road supporting them. And it's definitely an admiration to be around you. So continue being you, Worship Past Master. Sometimes we don't realize how much we influence other people because we're just ourselves. So I charge each and every one of you in here to continue being you, because you don't know who you're influencing. Okay, that concludes, and I'm just playing. All right, this next honoree that I'm bringing up is Right Worshipful Grand Director Julius D. Spain Sr. This is a little bit more challenging than I thought it was going to be. 2010, February, I met this brother. I met this brother knocking on the same door that I was knocking on. And for those of you who don't know what that means, this brother and I was coming into masonry, or trying to come into masonry together. And the process is you need to petition, and you need to be vetted. You need to be vouched for. A lot of brothers don't make it in. But the road that me and Right Worshipful Grand Director traveled during that time period was fairly different type of road. And only he understands what that road was. Well, we bonded instantly. But the first minute that I met this brother, I knew that he was different. I knew he was a person of conviction. I knew he was a person of standard. And hey, I'm gonna just take this second. This is about you, but I'd be remiss. We have another brother who was on that same journey with us. Brother Jerome Johnson, can you please stand? All right. And I had to take that pause for a second because we're missing a few other brothers that was on that journey, but only we know. So, but the goodness behind that was we got a different piece of masonry coming into the door than probably your average. But what I want to say about Right Worshipful Grand Director is he's an extraordinary person. He's someone who he bleeds masonry out of his heart. I talk to this brother quite frequently, so I know him well. He bleeds it out of his heart. Sometimes I ask him, I say, "You all right, man?" But to move along with the program, I mean, like I said, I know this brother so well, I can't give you 9 years worth of story about Right Worshipful Grand Director and why I appreciate him so much. But to get to the meat of it, I appreciate you for everything that you've done. I appreciate you for being a family-oriented man. I appreciate you for being a friend. I appreciate you for your ideals and your zealousness and your passion to move this institution forward. I appreciate you for all of the hard work that you don't only put in the masonry, but you put into the community, like being on the civic association, being on NAACP. It can go on and on. He's a retired master gunnery sergeant. This brother right here, he just seeks excellence. He has a high standard. He really believes in the things that we do. He's really about the community, and he's about this organization. And if you don't mind for a second, LJ is what he's called. Can you come up for a second, please?
Okay, we're good.
So this is, for those of you who've never met Julius D. Spain.